Okay, we are live. So,
Good morning.
yeah, good morning, everyone. It's time for Tea Across the Miles with Lady Nancy of Cup and Crown and Lady Amy, Houses of Windsor.
Yes.
So
And
good
you're in
morning.
sunny Florida, warm Florida, and I'm in snowy Virginia.
That's right. Yes. And you're all dressed for Valentine's Day, which is beautiful, and I never am. So
You look lovely. Your pink lipstick,
forgot.
your blue, and your blonde. It's all good.
Yeah, I was like, my water cup is red, but
Oh, very good.
it's red
Cheers.
every day.
Cheers. Hello. Mm. Yes. Galentine's Day. Galentine's Day. Isn't
I
that
know,
the
that's true.
day for Valentine's Day? Is
I do
Galentine's.
actually have a Valentine's Day thing to go to this evening. So
Oh, good for you.
yeah, yeah. But what are you drinking today? What's your drink?
I have rediscovered oolong. I haven't had it in a really long time. And I put a post recently about how we must have a new tea drinker in the school building where I sub because suddenly these fabulous teas are showing up in the teacher's lounge. This week it was a box of tea forte, but last week it was oolong. So I grabbed a couple and I had one for breakfast the other morning. I'm like, I forgot how good this is. So
Oh, nice.
I doubled up on my tea bags today, and yeah, I'm drinking oolong. Cheers.
Awesome.
What are you drinking?
Well, so I did I'm kind of doing something similar. I'm revisiting one that I always rave about but haven't actually had in a while is the cherry rose green tea. So
Excellent.
yeah, so I made a whole pot of it.
Yes, good for you. Amy turned me on to Cherry Rose Festival, also known as Kyoto Sencha Kyoto or Kyoto
Yes,
Sencha.
and yeah,
I think it's
sure.
KS. Kyoto Sencha. I can't say.
Yeah.
And I have turned that on to many, many people. As I'm going to speak for Amy and myself, we do
Yes.
not really like green tea.
Nope.
Liking it to
I
drink.
say it every time. Yeah.
Don't like it, but it's a lovely blend. I love it. I actually, it was one of the three teas I served at the tea tasting that I
Oh,
did on Saturday down at our local suffrage museum.
yeah, and you
And,
have to report on that.
yeah, well, I can get into it unless there's something else you want to add.
No, I don't want to add anything. I've got my tea. I did pick out a cup that would sort of match my outfit.
I have to tell you, I picked up on that. I
Yeah,
totally picked up on that. Very good. I went with roses.
I love it. So yeah,
Albert.
so yours matches as
Yes,
well.
what is this, this is 1980 Royal Albert,
Oh, really? Oh,
1980
that's awesome.
roses.
Yeah, and then what do
Um,
I have? Oh, this is Royal Albert. This is the Forget Me Not collection.
very
This
nice.
is in the Flower of the Month series, and I have the month of July. But
Keeping it warm, keeping it real.
colors.
And before we continue, I have it is a snow day here in Virginia, so we
Oh
have
yeah.
a
Oh,
two
sure, sure.
hour delay.
Yes.
So somebody wants to say hello.
Yes.
Hi. Say
Hi.
hi. We actually got to meet Amy, Lady Amy, down in Orlando, right?
Yeah, the last time I saw you was in person.
Finally got to meet Amy in person.
It
Yeah.
was awesome.
Yeah. Did you finish your breakfast?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. You ready to go?
So cute.
Go on.
Yeah, go have fun with your delay.
Yeah.
I was just face at first.
She's watching Phineas and Ferb. Taylor Swift was on it.
Oh,
Really kind of over Taylor Swift.
that's well. So on a note of Taylor Swift, so as you may recall that in my world, the name Taylor means Taylor Hanson.
Yes, yes.
And one of my Hanson friends sent a video of like clips put together of Taylor Swift talking about how she was in love with Hanson, Taylor specifically, and like when she was 8 years old, she was sure that they would get married because they both had the name Taylor.
Taylor and Taylor.
Yes, so I was like, well,
Yeah.
now I like her because she's a Taylor girl.
I know, right? Oh my gosh, the number of times I wonder how many people played a drinking game on Super Bowl Sunday. Everybody take a swig every time they see Taylor Swift on the
I know,
television.
right?
Oh
Right. It was so
my
funny.
gosh. Yeah.
So yeah, and I actually did watch ish the Super Bowl. It was on my TV.
Right.
Um because so I'm allowed to talk about this, but I'm not gonna out him by his name.
Okay.
So last Wednesday I was invited to a singles and mingles like event, and I've never done like an in-person one. It was pretty
Right.
wild.
Right.
Um, And like, so you like walk in and they have it all set up where you check in the table and it's like, if you're single and ready to mingle, you get like a green name tag. And if you're there as like a wing woman or a wingman, like you get a red name tag. So people know that's your role. And like, and then if you're somewhere,
What does that mean? Like you're there for support?
yeah, well, like you're there, like you can talk to me, but don't try to like ask me out on a date. Like I'm not available.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So it's like I'm unavailable, but I'm like here, whatever, like having fun.
Okay.
And so, and then they even have a yellow one that's like if you feel like you're somewhere in between. So, like, I heard one person say that it was like, you know, essentially they were separated and the divorce was like almost final, but not technically legally final. So they felt like they should be a yellow, right?
Okay. Okay.
And so, I just thought it was really funny, but it was so weird because so for me, I'm used to dating apps where people aren't looking back at you, right? Like nobody
Right.
knows you're looking at them.
Right. Right.
Afraid to look around and like make eye contact with someone that I didn't want to talk to. And so, but I chatted with like a few, like there were a few like women around and like, you know, we kind of chatted and laughed about the situation. And it didn't take too long. And then I made eyes with a guy. And so we made eyes a couple of times. So then he came over and chatted with me. And so we hit it off. We're pretty much like the same age, same values and beliefs, like same nostalgia for the 90s,
Okay. Great.
all the stuff, and very similar situations as far as like family goes. So like he has a daughter and he's in good co-parenting relationship with his ex and her new husband, right? So it's like the same as me with David.
Right.
And yeah, but so we saw each other again. And he came over for the Super Bowl, but he was like, so this is a big deal to me, right? A guy who's like, yeah, sure, whatever. Like, as long as it's just like on in the background, I don't really have to watch it. I'm like, how many guys are gonna, and he does like sports, but he's a little disillusioned by the billionaires that run.
Yes. Yes. I'm hearing more and more disgruntlement about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so I watched so I watched the game off and on, like we cooked dinner and whatever. But yeah, I told him, I was like, I'm probably gonna talk about you on tea time today. So, I go, but I won't mention your name. And he said, I support that 100%.
Okay. Hello, no name.
Right.
Oh, goodness.
So fun times. But other than that, let's see. So royal news. I saw, what was it? Well, so you sent me the thing about Harry, right?
Right.
So I guess since our last tea time, we shouldn't just assume that everybody knows what's going on. So
No, our last tea time was in person. For those who don't know,
That's
Amy
true.
and I finally got to meet each other. I was down in Orlando area for a wedding and was able to squeeze it in. Amy was wonderful enough to drive out to the hotel where I was staying, and she brought tea and things, and I had snagged a couple of scones from from the breakfast buffet, and Amy and I finally got to sit down and chat. It was a fast hour that could have probably gone on for a few more hours. Amy and I could have talked forever, but it was great. It was really neat to finally meet you in person. That was it was fun. That was really fun.
It was so awesome. It was so wild because then I realized it was like, oh, it's been like 5 years, right? Is what you said, right? Because we
It's been
talked before
checked.
the pandemic.
It was right before the pandemic because I pledged
like
my
end
business.
of 2019, right? I feel like it was in the fall.
You know what? You're right.
Yeah.
You're right, because I pledged my business in March of 2020 and I had started, I reached out to you like fall of 2019.
Mhm.
And yeah, you're right. So fall 2019. Yeah, you're right. Well, we're coming up to fall of 24. So it's been about 4.5 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pushing 5 years now. Yeah.
And that's awesome. Yeah. So we finally got to meet. And then, but I think at that time, let's see. So we didn't know at that time, what did we know? We knew Kate was going to go in for a scheduled surgery, and we knew that
I think wasn't she in? She was in, or when did I get back?
She was already in.
She was already in, and we don't know what for. We still today don't know what it was.
Abdominal surgery. And then
So what?
abdominal, like that's
Oh,
what
yes,
they said,
abdominal
and then,
surgery,
yeah,
whatever that is.
surgery.
Yes, yes.
And then but and at the time we also knew that King Charles was going in for the scheduled thing for his enlarged prostate, right? But we didn't know about the news of cancer at that point. So that
Right.
was something that's new or newer. And so yeah, so for those of you who don't know, yeah, so he was diagnosed with cancer. They said it was while they were doing the whatever the thing was for the
Biopsies, operation, whatever it was for,
yeah.
yes.
And so they said it's not prostate cancer, but they found something else while they're there. And
Yes.
he's undergoing treatments, but they've not specified what kind it is. And with that, Prince Harry essentially like jumped on a plane to come and see
As a good son should.
as a good son should, yeah.
Yes.
And what was reportedly
36 hours.
yeah,
He
yeah,
probably spent more time on the plane and in airports than he did actually visiting his family.
right. And I heard it was like he saw his dad for probably less than an hour and didn't see William at all.
No, that's
So
what
it
I
was
heard.
like all the reunions that we royalists hope for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will this bring them back together? Probably not. That's what another speculation. It's all speculation, but yeah,
Sure.
will it bring them back together? Probably not. It's a shame that he only got to see his dad after making that kind of an effort, but
Yeah,
yeah,
it is weird. And it's like, but I was also thinking about like how at least it's portrayed in The Crown whenever they have conversations with each other, right? It's always like a brief moment in the room, or if you're like visiting the queen, right? It's just for a set amount of time. So I was wondering, like, is that even a thing when you go to visit and you're like, you know, your dad's the king, he's busy or whatever, and like this is all the time you get to see him, unless you stay more days, I suppose. Like,
yeah, and get 5 minutes every day. I don't know, or unless it's like holidays at Sandringham or you know,
oh
or
right, yeah, when they like have
summer,
holidays to like
yeah,
dedicate
summer
it.
Balmoral. I don't know. I just think that's
It is, yeah, it's bizarre, like
bizarre. Yes.
because I feel like Charles, and you know, in my mind, my speculation, it's like Charles wouldn't be like standoffish with him. I'm sure he would appreciate that Harry was there,
Sure.
right?
I would think so.
Yeah, yeah. And like given his, you know, health news and everything. So I would think that it wouldn't be like on his side, but I'm not saying it's on Harry's side either. I'm just like, it's weird. Sorry, the cats are fighting.
Yeah, okay. And it's I don't hear him and I don't see him.
Okay, good. It's like they just had like a crazy like
Well, if it was
That, like,
perfectly timed, like how bizarre, then it
Yeah.
sounds like, you know, Amy's back there doing side effects with, you know, needle across the record, crickets, whatever. Something to think about adding to our show.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'll get a sound effects keyboard. A lot of the podcasts I listen to, it's funny because they'll like there's one in particular where it's the guys that were on the show Workaholics. They do a podcast together. They're just like best friends, but one of them has like throughout time has taken it upon himself to be in charge of all the sound effects. So he like always surprises them with like a new one that he's downloaded. Like, just while they're having conversations. Oh goodness.
Oh, goodness.
But yeah.
But yeah, so what's going on? We don't know the treatment he's having. We don't know what's going on with Kate.
Right.
What kind of abdominal surgery? What kind? I mean, if it's scheduled gallbladder, is it?
Right.
Is it hysterectomy? I can't imagine. I really, unless it was a necessary. Was hers kind of like cervical cancer or
Right,
anything like
right.
that? Would have. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know.
Or no, we don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. And so Trevor and I, when we've talked on like Friday tea times, as we discussed it, I started speculating. I was like, well, maybe it's not that serious of a procedure. But she's like, well, while we're at it, I've not been like, I've had to be on ever since I started dating Prince William and really before. So maybe we're like, hey, can you say that I need to be in the hospital for 12 days?
Right, right. Yes.
Can you say that I need to be at home, like resting for a little while?
Yes, I could fully appreciate that. That's like kind of like why I'm not working today and tomorrow, because because my
Right.
husband is out and I want to just putz around the house for a little bit. I
Yeah,
mean,
right.
the camera goes off. Obviously, this doesn't stay on. This is going to
Right.
get wiped off, jewelry off. I'm going to put my pajamas back on and I'm just going to sit
I
down
love
on
it.
television or do
Right.
something for myself. So, mm,
Yes. I can appreciate that. I remember some of the days.
yes, yeah. It's been get up and go, get up and go. I mean, even the last day before he took off, gosh, get up, go to church, come back, realize that the dinner I was going to make was missing one ingredient. So I had to run to the store, come
Oh
back,
no.
get laundry done, get Jackie's Valentine's together
Oh yes, I had
for
to do that.
school
Yeah.
for this week, do the dinner, folding laundry. I mean, it was just this litany of things that I had to take care of. It was
Right.
like 9:05. And I sit down next to him to watch the Super Bowl. And it was like 5 minutes after that, I was like, I'm done. I'm done. He's like,
Right.
I wish you could just sit down. I'm like, yeah, I wish I could too.
Yeah,
And
right.
not that he isn't helpful before anybody thinks that I'm saying that he's just sitting on the couch doing nothing. He's
Right,
very
right.
helpful. But the things that I take care of are usually things that I take care of.
Right,
So
right.
yeah.
That
Anyway,
makes sense. Yeah.
yeah.
But
So
so
the necessary rest. I get that. It's like, hey, tell everybody I'm not here. It's
yes,
kind of like the
exactly.
whole well, lots of people think, but like, the whole Elvis or Michael Jackson, he's not really dead. He's just, decided to retire from life and doesn't want anybody to know that he's still,
Right.
not true, but the whole
Yes,
just tweak it a little bit and let me just lay in bed or stay with my family and
exactly.
but
Yeah.
who
And
knows?
like
Who knows?
not be dressed up and have to be, smiling for cameras and greeting people.
Right. But
So
I'm just thinking something, I mean, if it legitimately she needs to, I mean, let's think about this too. With Charles, who has a true diagnosis of cancer and
oh,
going
right,
through treatment, whatever,
right.
they're short on royals to
That's true.
cover certain duties.
That's true.
And I would think if Kate's really was just something fabricated
Yeah, yeah.
to the slightest
To
degree,
come
it'd be
out
like,
sooner.
okay, I better get up off this couch because
Yeah.
somebody's got to make public appearances. I'm just trying to think. The only thing I can think of, and I'm no medical expert, but a hysterectomy would take a very long
Would
time
take a lot. Yeah, that's what
to
I was thinking.
recover. Gallbladder removal can be done laparoscopically now.
Yeah,
And
I've had that removed. Yeah, yeah. So
yeah,
that's like nothing. I mean,
yeah.
yeah.
So interesting.
Yeah. So we'll see. Or
Yes.
maybe we won't. We'll
Yeah,
see.
or maybe we won't. Maybe we
Never
won't.
find out, but maybe we
Yeah,
will.
exactly.
Yeah. And then
Other royals. I don't know if there is other royals to talk. William looks great. He's out there taking for
that's what
try.
I say. So he came out like, because we thought he was gonna be hiding back more with Kate, and he's kind of out
He can't. He
working.
can't. Yeah.
So they've
Well,
at least got that.
yeah. So what does this feel like for Charles? Poor Charles has waited
I
forever
know.
to get on the throne. It has not even been a year.
I know.
Is down with cancer
Yes, yes.
and how long is the recovery going to take and pray that the recovery takes
Right.
and he's well in a couple of months or something to resume
Right.
duties. But gosh, that's just
It sucks. Well, and I just can't keep thinking, or I just keep thinking about like his mom and dad, where it's like, Jesus, like they made it so old and like never, as far as we know,
yeah,
right, didn't have anything like this, serious to deal with before.
right,
So I'm like, oh man, like that sucks that,
right.
yeah, that now,
Auntie Margot, Elizabeth's sister, Margaret, she had cancer, but some of that was from
like,
it's from smoking and her
yeah,
and
so, yeah, and
yeah.
she had strokes,
Dad
right?
had, yes, and their dad had cancer, and that was
Oh,
from
right, and that was
ridiculous
smoking
ritual
too, right?
smoking
Yeah,
and emphysema and things like that. So, but as
but
far as
you're
we know,
right.
Charles doesn't smoke.
Yeah,
So yeah, I don't know. It's very unfortunate, really
yeah,
unfortunate.
I know. But so I guess Camilla's, uh, you know, leading things up as well. So Camilla's out doing things.
And William out there too.
And William,
And,
yeah,
and you got to figure the behind the scenes are thinking, okay, we have to take this worst case scenario. Maybe we should start putting William out there a little bit more.
yeah,
Let's make sure he's getting some positive press.
right, right.
And because if something, if Charles is not able to resume, or if treatment takes longer, or
Right,
he's
right.
so frail, things like that, next in line, got to be
Yeah,
ready to take over.
Yeah,
So
yeah. That would be, yeah, that would be wild. I mean, unfortunate, but also just like wild for like, again, to not have any coordinations or changeovers for so long. And then like
then,
if you had them like back to back, like,
mhm.
that would be wild.
Prince Philip funeral, Queen Elizabeth funeral,
Mhm.
coronation. Yeah,
Yeah. So that would, yeah, that would be something. So hopefully not anytime soon.
right, right.
Let Charles have some more time.
Yeah, a little bit more,
Um,
a bit more.
yeah. But let's see. So who else? Oh, well then Edward and it's Sophie, right?
Sophie
Okay.
comes with.
Sophie, yes. So I guess I feel like you
I want
know
her name and I
more
want her
about
title.
I feel like you know more about them than I do, but they've been called up to like do more,
Yes,
right?
they have. Yes,
Okay.
they have. Yes.
So do you know what's her story? Do we know?
She was a commoner. If can you say that today? I mean, is that
Sure,
is
yeah,
okay? She was a
we
businesswoman.
still can.
Yeah, as far as I know, she was a businesswoman, and so she and Edward married late in life, and now they have a couple of kids, and I think they're just, pretty ordinary.
Right,
I don't know where they live. I don't know. I don't think they're at Kensington. I could be wrong.
right,
And but yeah, they've been stepping up, and because look at all the royals. I mean, Harry and Meghan are gone. You can't
right.
rely on oh, I'm seeing his face. Who's the one with the whole scandal?
Yeah, Andrew.
Andrew, thank you. Thank you. Andrew, can't rely on Andrew.
Yeah,
Um, and so, yeah, it comes down to it. But that was Charles's vision too.
that's
It was
true.
his vision
Right.
to, what did he say to,
It was a slim down monarchy.
yes, exactly. Get rid
And
of the,
it was like in theory, right? Like we were all on board. We're like, yeah, like that makes sense, right? But nobody's thinking about then like, needing the backups, like the reinforcements.
right, right.
And then right. And then what about Anne's? Because Anne's pretty active, isn't she? But is she not considered one of the main ones?
No, she is still,
Okay.
she's fringe. That was the word I was looking for. He was trying to get rid of the
Oh,
fringe royalty. But no, Anne is still out there. Anne is still a champion, man. She's awesome.
yeah.
She's still out there doing her charities and doing the things that she's always done. Um, and she's an outspoken individual too.
Yeah.
She'll say things, and I love that. And I think the Crown, if you go back to that, the Crown did a pretty good job exemplifying.
Oh, right. That's
She would just
true.
say things, and she's very
Right.
straight faced, always straight
Right.
faced.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
She seemed very just like practical.
yes, very practical, pragmatic, just and opaque. She just, there was nothing hidden. It was just
Right. Right.
just put things out there.
Right.
But and yet still with the same, I think, especially now she's older, with that quiet dignity. I think she'll
Yeah.
speak up when she needs to, but otherwise, a lot like her mom, never complain, never explain.
Right. Right. That's true. Yeah. And I was hearing on the Royally Obsessed podcast, they had someone coming on speaking about how the royals in general, they're like, well, they're like, we don't have young royals anymore, like because they're like William, like he's whatever middle age now, so and they're
God, then I got one
yeah,
foot in the grave.
no, I was like, and they're thinking, right? It's like they're no longer the kids that we, or
No.
like the teenagers that we're following.
True,
It's like
true.
they're grown up, and their kids are probably 10 years away from us focusing on them like that. And so,
Mhm.
they were saying that like they think that like Beatrice and Eugenie would be sort of like a bridge, like age wise, and sort of like bring some youth or just some fun to things, and that they should
Sure.
be used more, yeah, more frequently. And I brought this up with Trevor at tea time, and we started Googling things because he didn't remember the headpieces that they chose for
Oh,
his
yes.
wedding.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I was like, man, I forget now which one is which, but the one
Me too. I was gonna say the same thing. What is Beatrice and Eugenie? Yes, yes.
one just the blue piece with like some peacock feathers really wasn't that wild. It was the fact that her sister was wearing the antlers. And like when I looked at it again, I was like, it wasn't even uh like tilted to the side or like tilted back a little bit. It was like straight up and down.
It was straight up and down. It was straight up and down. It was, I'm sorry, and
And I'm
somebody,
sorry
in fact,
that
I don't have my phone with me, but if somebody shortly after the wedding did,
Yeah.
and it was terrible, it was so mean, but they did the Wicked Stepsisters from Cinderella
oh
showing
yeah.
them with their gowns on, and
Yeah.
somebody had put these hat. Oh my God, it was hilarious.
That's hilarious.
And but yeah, those things were straight up and down, and
Yeah.
I'm sure they were all the rage at one point, but
Yeah.
flattering they were not.
Yeah, I would say I feel like I'm sorry to the milliner who created that masterpiece because you can tell it's intricate, like it's probably a whole thing to create, but I just feel like that wasn't, yeah, the if you were going to make that bold of a statement, maybe that wasn't the place to do it.
I know, and I wish I could remember the name of the milliner because it's quite well known. And I do believe Kate
Oh,
has done
really?
a couple of hats women, but they're
Yeah.
not the crazy wilds,
Mhm.
whatever those two are. But I want to say it's Eugenie. Beatrice is the one with the redder hair. And
Okay.
Eugenie's the one with the brown hair. And she's posted some things on Instagram and with her son, and
Yeah.
it's cute. And you know, she'll do no makeup,
Oh yeah.
you know, no frills, no frou-frou,
Right.
just, you know, her enjoying life with her family. And
Right.
I love that. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, I need to follow them. I don't know if I'm actually following them on Instagram, so I'm like, now I gotta look because when Trevor and I were looking at pictures because he couldn't remember, right? And then he's like, well, if they're gonna be more, if they're gonna have more official like uh, royal duties,
Right.
then they he's like, they need to be more photogenic. And I was like, and so I was looking, I was like, well, it looks like a lot of them just get captured at random. I was like, but also, I mean, the regular royals get captured at random all the time too. But he's like, yeah, but this one looks like they posed for it. So
Oh, yes,
like
yes.
the hair's a little like, look,
Cattywampus and not coiffed and yeah,
yes.
yes.
Yeah. And so I just thought that was really funny that Trevor brought that up. I was like, I guess it's a fair point.
And yet they're you know, they're letting their hair down, so to speak. I'm without my phone and I feel like I need to pull up one of those
I know, it's
pictures.
like I have my second monitor here, so I'm like looking over
Oh,
here.
you do that. I'm gonna see if I can find it. Give me one
Okay, yeah.
second.
So Princess Eugenie, let's see. Oh yeah, I don't follow her. Okay, Princess Eugenie, Princess Beatrice. Okay, so whichever you said, so you said Beatrice.
I think it's Eugenie has the brown hair and Beatrice
Yeah,
has.
Eugenie has the brown hair, Beatrice has the red hair.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Let me
and
see.
which one's the oldest? Do you remember it?
I thought it was Beatrice. I could be wrong. What do I
I guess
know?
maybe because I feel like I always say Beatrice and Eugenie, but I don't know. Let's see. But yeah, let's see. So I'm on Eugenie's right now. And she posts a lot of different things. Interesting. Yeah, so like she posted a photo of her the London let's see, at Vogue World, and when she's in London, I guess. And she's wearing a dress that's like very pretty fabric. Here is like I'll just share my screen so you can
Yeah,
see.
go right ahead.
Okay, this one. Okay, so you see her?
Yeah.
I'm like, I feel like it's just like a bunch of fabric. Like it's not
Yeah, I couldn't
tailored,
agree more.
not tailored to suit her. But to against Trevor and my theory, look, see, she can do her hair and makeup when she wants to.
Hmm.
She looks beautiful.
She wants to, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. So
These were the hats in question. No, I agree with you with that. I mean, you and I are going to turn to, you know,
right.
to run our Joan Rivers hats here. And
Right.
oh, look at
It's
that
like
one.
here, there, yeah, like together, where it's like, yeah, it's like they just are like normal people. Like
They're just normal people just having a good time.
yeah, which is nice. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
there's Beatrice. Let's take a look at her.
Let me turn it this way.
Okay, yeah. So I see where she's like got pictures with her baby.
That's lovely. The blue with the blue hats
That's
and
nice.
matching. She looks
Yeah.
very nice there. Yes. Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
So they can do it. It was
Yeah,
just
they can.
whatever we Googled, yeah, was not the greatest.
Yeah. No, and these were the hats in question that you mentioned. I can't say one is worse than another.
See,
But
I feel like because of the antler one, that the peacock one is not so
not so bad,
it's
but
not so
otherwise,
shocking. Yeah, yeah.
but
Like
otherwise it would be.
yes, I would say here, I'll pull it up on here. Let's see. Princess.
And I'm looking for the one where somebody did the cartoon of them.
Okay, so then we have, I will pull up a photo and then I'll share my screen so that everyone can see it in all its glory.
I am not finding it. So yeah, go ahead.
Okay, share this, share that. Okay, so
Yes.
it is a lot of feathers, I suppose, and I would sort of like it maybe, yeah, not so on her forehead. But this is just it.
This
Yeah,
is, yes.
it looks like it should be like a pillbox hat of some sort, but it's just like up on its end.
And I'm wondering how it was affixed to her head. Did she have a headband that went this way that had to be hidden
Oh,
by
you're
her
right. Yeah,
hair?
yeah, that's
Uh,
true.
yeah, it just, I mean, you're not looking at her face.
Right.
You're not looking at her dress.
Yeah, yeah,
Not
yeah.
looking at anything but this
This giant thing on her, yeah, this
giant
bow.
bow, mirror, mirror on the wall, something, it
Yeah,
looks like it just,
it's
yeah,
wild.
yeah.
Uh,
I wonder if she regrets that or if she still stands by that decision.
Yeah, that's true. I wonder. Yeah. I mean, it probably isn't fun that everyone like us is still talking about it.
No, no, but
But when you make that bold of a fashion statement, like you gotta be prepared.
have to be prepared. Absolutely.
Yeah.
The butterfly ones, what do you think about that?
That's what, so I was only gonna laugh at the butterfly one because remember
Your
I had a
headband.
butterfly headband that I just got for
That's so
fun.
yes, but yours doesn't look like, this flock of butterflies following you around everywhere.
Yeah, that's a lot. I do like the hat though. I'm cool with the hat. Like that.
Yeah, oh no, that's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Fine.
But
And
yes.
then you get Kate. I'm sorry, I'm just saying, then you get
Oh,
things like
right. And then it's like we have Kate and she's
impeccable.
like perfect and she's got the
Talking to
little,
Sophie, talking to Sophie, look how lovely they
yes,
are.
I
Just
know, I know.
classic,
Right.
with a little bit of,
Oh, what's this
and
one?
things like that.
Whoa, look at that.
That's quite interesting. I don't know who that is. I don't agree with that statement at all. Hey,
Yeah.
look, I ran over a bird in the middle of the street and then tried to make angel wings from its feathers. I know.
Yeah, that's a wild one. Oh my goodness. Now I was like, we're just gonna look at these forever.
I know,
Yeah,
seriously.
so I guess they are sort of known for doing
Let's see why?
oh,
Why?
like why is it positioned that way? Who's positioning
And
this?
in that color green, when you're wearing purple, I mean, it's like all you want people to look at is the hat.
Right,
Because that's
right.
all they're going to look at.
Like this one I'm okay with. This is cute.
that's
It's
kind
like
of neat.
feathery,
I'm not sure why there's
right?
a bone across the top of it, but yes.
Yeah, right. And then here's somewhere I'm like, I feel like, okay, great. We're okay.
We're okay. We're okay.
Okay.
Not too bad. Yeah. I'm not sure they match the outfits, but maybe they
Yeah,
just
that's another thing. Yeah, they're never really matching or except for at the wedding when she was like completely all the nude color.
yes, yes.
And the
And
blue.
I get not wanting to be matchy matchy, but usually you do match your hat to
Right.
your
Or
outfit.
at least it's like coordinate, like looks coordinated somehow. Okay, this one's fun. Look at these feathers.
Yes, I saw that.
I like it's like I don't care. I like that. But yeah. So
Oh,
here's
that one. You know what? I don't hate that.
yeah, I was like, I'm okay with that one. I mean, it's wild, but I'm okay with it. At least it's yeah, it works.
There's an elegance to it. Yeah.
Right. It's so funny. So now I know why, even more so, on the like the spoof, the parody show that's called The Windsors on Netflix, which I highly recommend to anyone who's thinking about watching it. It's hilarious. And they have the characters that play Eugenie and Beatrice like in their flat that they live in. It's just fascinators like all over the walls. And they're always wearing
today.
yeah, and they're always wearing pink ones. And it's like, yeah, but I've thought about that like since then because now I have so many, and I'm like, "God, I feel like I need like a bunch of hooks or something for these because I've got them like sort of all together in large boxes.
Right, right.
Sounds very inconvenient. I'm like, I want to be able to just like see them all. Like, how do you store fascinators where you just like pick them down?
Yeah, well, put them on hooks on the walls. Why not?
I know. So, what do you do with yours? Do you keep them in a box?
They're in hat boxes upstairs.
Okay.
Yeah, they are in hat. Actually, when my husband gifted me the Royal Alberts back here, they
Yeah.
come in big round boxes. And
Oh,
if you
nice.
take all the stuffing padding out of it, they're basically hat boxes without a handle.
Oh my
And
gosh.
so I've taken the stuffing out of them and I've put them in there. So they're sitting Royal
That's
Albert
perfect.
boxes up in my closet.
Oh,
So
that's awesome.
yeah. And then
Yeah.
my mom sent me a hat box full of, she used to belong to the Red Hat Society or Red Hat.
Oh, gotcha. So
So
are all the hats that she gave you, are they all red?
I have two red. They're very 80s looking. They're not they're like I said, they're more Princess Diana. Even though
Right.
she was in red hats in the 2000s, they're not the fascinator style. They're more brimmed hats. I
Yeah.
do a lovely purple one. I'll have to wear that.
Oh, okay. Lovely. Yes.
Couple of straw hats, but nicely done. And she's taken scarves and put them around.
Right.
So yeah, just I do
Yeah.
have hats. I don't wear them often. You know,
Right.
we need to bring hats
It's
back.
for these. Yes, right. Well, and for me, I'm like, I'm talking about all these fascinators I have, but because I use virtual backgrounds, they
They
disappear.
don't show up.
So
They
like
just
I can't wear, so I'm just like giving up on it until I have background that I want to show again.
right.
I still have my queen stand up, but I'm like, I need to get like a Charles cutout.
Well,
Make
well,
it on Amazon. Yeah.
I meant to run out to see your car last month. Do you
Oh
still
yeah.
ride around with the Queen? Is she still waving to everyone from the back seat?
But I thought the other day I was like, I really should just peel her off. She is so faded from the sun. And this is my second one. Like I replaced the faded one. This is my second queen because they're like cheap from like Walmart or whatever. And so I'm like, I need to have like either a real one done or hurry up and replace her because you can barely see her and she's just very faded yellow.
Gotcha. Well, it's the ghost of Elizabeth now. That's what it is. It's the ghost of Queen Elizabeth. It's following Amy everywhere.
Yeah, I was like, I wonder if they have a Charles one. I put it on the other window.
Oh my gosh.
Have all the family right now.
Exactly. Exactly. And when he starts to fade, he says, well, he does have cancer. He's just not
Yeah,
feeling
right. Exactly. Yeah. He's not
God bless
feeling
poor man.
that great right now.
Oh my gosh. Well, I still actually have a school day. It has stopped snowing. I'm seeing blue skies.
Great.
The snow has completely melted at this point. This has been the craziest day. And we're gonna get up to like 51 degrees and the sun is supposed to be shining full on this afternoon.
So do you feel like was the 2 hour delay really necessary?
No,
Like,
absolutely not.
okay, that's what I was gonna
Absolutely
say.
not.
Because if the roads were already warm, it was gonna be melting anyway.
Yes, yes. So I typically take Jackie up to the bus at 8:43.
Right.
And so the bus will be coming at 10:53 today, but I'm
Gotcha.
probably going to drive her and I'll take her. I'll take a couple minutes late. I don't care. I'm bending all the rules right
I
now.
love it.
I don't care because and I'm just going to do my own thing today. Let's get to tea business if you don't mind. We mentioned the Cherry Rose Festival. Amy and I used to swap teas, and I will say at least two of them absolutely they stick in my pantry. I don't ever, if I run out, I gotta order more. In fact, I just got some more of the Scottish toffee,
Oh
where
yes.
one of my favorites. I love that one.
I need to bring that one
And the
back.
Cherry Rose Festival is something that I like to take to tea parties because as someone who isn't a green tea drinker, to people who want green tea over black tea. It's a beautiful, feminine, fragrant offering rather than just have some grass. You know.
Thank you. Biased on green tea and all.
Not at all. I'll take white. We're going to talk about purple tea here in a minute too. But yeah, so I was doing a tea tasting down at the Suffrage Museum, and just a quick thing, why tea with suffrage, history, because it's basically where it all started. It's funny how tea has just been sort of the bribing mechanism, if you will. It's the things over which we have boycotted over the years. There is obviously, everybody knows about the Boston Tea Party. There were the Opium Wars that had to do with tea trade. Also, there was the Society of Patriotic Ladies in South Carolina during the Revolutionary War said, we're going to stop buying, British tea also if you don't start, giving us, stop taxing us. So they had their own thing going on. And then for the suffragists, as in England and here, came up with, actually in California, they started equality tea and offered 4 different types of tea, and they would boycott vendors if the grocers did not offer those teas. And when the teas were bought, obviously the proceeds were used to go toward funding the women's rights movement. So anyway, so there I am at the Suffrage Museum, and they wanted to do a tea tasting with a Valentine's theme. So it turns out that the 3 that I chose all have rose petals in them. First one was the Cherry Rose Festival. The second one was the Harney and Sons Valentine's Blend, which is a delicious chocolate tea. Going to get back to that in a second. And then the other one was strawberry white chocolate. And it is a white and green tea blend with chunks of strawberries, little morsels of white chocolate. And that one seemed to be the favorite amongst everyone because it had strong strawberry notes. The chocolate Valentine blend, I really thought would be the favorite because Valentine's Day, everybody loves chocolate. Who doesn't love chocolate? It wasn't sweetened tea. I'm just giving little samples of tea.
Right.
And drinking unsweetened chocolate tea, in my opinion, is like going to the baker's chocolate box and grabbing a chunk of baker's chocolate.
Yeah.
Who does that? Nobody does that. The reason chocolate is popular is because it has sugar in it. It's what makes chocolate. And so it was not the favorite at all. Everybody, the one that people really liked was the strawberry one. And I really loved the fragrance of the Cherry Rose Festival, but they're like, oh, if I had to choose one. We did have sweetener there for them to use.
I was gonna ask, as you say, you know how we personally feel. We're like, we want our tea sweetened as well.
Absolutely. I invoked the 7th Earl of Twinings many times on Saturday night, saying, he would say that sugar dulls.
You got the thumbs up. I don't know how that works. We still don't know how that happens.
Do not get that. I wonder if somebody's watching us. Is somebody watching us and giving us a thumbs up, maybe?
Like, I'm horrible at paying attention.
Thanks, people.
No one's commented, so that's good.
Yep. That's what it is. Somebody's giving me a thumbs up. That's what it is. Hello. I don't know who's watching, but hey, cheers. Thank you.
It only shows up on your screen. Why don't I get any thumbs up?
They only like me.
I know, apparently. That's so funny.
Anyway, so I have a private tea tasting. Anyway, I bought all this tea. We had 9 people come for a tea tasting, and I was giving out this much, and nobody paid to have the takeaway cup either. So I brewed 1 pot of each, and by the time the last gentleman came through, it was 8 o'clock. I was not reheating those teas. They were at room temperature, which is okay because you can taste it. Sometimes it's too hot, you don't get quite the flavor. I have so much tea left over that I paid for. But I have a couple of events coming up, and I'll just reuse those teas for that, which is fine. I think I told you I thought I was being hired for a baby shower for 40. And I guess she's gone coward because she hasn't even bothered to call me or text me back to say I've changed my mind. Texted her. I mean, I put this proposal together of everything. To be honest, I was willing to, come down on the price a little bit more for her too, if that would make any difference. I texted her and I said, hey, I'm standing by. I didn't say your deposit was due yesterday, but I did say, just want to sure that I'm still saving the date for you. If you have any questions, I'm looking forward to working with you. Crickets, absolutely nothing. Could you at least have the courtesy to just say, thank you so much for your time, but we've just had no
We're
harm.
going in a different direction. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
well, yeah.
So
So that's not fun. Yeah, I guess in my tea business news, so like, I'm bringing back tea for hire this year in 2024.
yes. Good luck with that.
Thank,
And I don't say that flippantly. Seriously, good luck with that. I really hope that.
thank you. Yeah, yeah. And I was saying, and thanks to your model, how you've altered how we do our tea. I love it. And so let's see. So I had a meeting yesterday with my friend Kelly, and she told me about a historical home that is very near to my house that I had no idea about. And she was like, yeah, they do a horrible job basically getting the word out. I was like, I've lived here like 3 years and I had no idea it existed. She's like, yeah. But what's hilarious is like, so she went on like a field trip and she was in like 5th grade. And by 6th grade, she was a little tour guide. So she guided people around the house, yeah, on tours. And I was like, oh my God, that was probably so cute for whoever was in your group, right? And she was like, I was all business. Like she knew all of the history. I was like,
that's my kind of thing. Absolutely.
yeah, right. I was like, that'd be just hilarious. So she was saying like how they don't do any special events. She's like, you need to go there, check it out, and then present to them like a monthly tea time.
You got it.
Because there are other historical homes that do this, like in St. Augustine and other places.
Here, absolutely. The old plantations, Mount Vernon, there's an out,
Okay.
the Oatlands, which I've never been to. Lots of places around here, they offer those.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking at that. And then also when I went, since I'm like getting back into the Orlando wedding industry now, or like the circles, there was someone I met who has a like a farm, like estate, like whatever. It's like a wedding venue, okay, but it's like out in the country. And they've been doing different events at their space with like vendors for certain different kinds of like specialties.
Mhm.
So April they're having one where I'm going as a tea vendor where I'm selling tea. And then but we're also looking at doing a tea party out there because there are other wedding venues that again do this where it's like, yeah, like they host a whole special tea for every, sell tickets to and all that. So I have a few things out there. Also I got connected with the Orlando Ballet.
Oh,
Yeah. And it's the person who's in charge of events for basically I forget if they're called donors or patrons, but it's like the people.
benefactor.
Yeah, the benefactors, yeah, of the ballet. So it would be an event for them. So I have, yeah, some.
That's great. You are just
Yeah.
every time I talk to you, you have something new, and they're not small things. They're really grand things, and I'm so excited for you.
Thank you. Well, I got to say that, it's like the Orlando Ballet is thank you to Paula, who brought me along to a special open rehearsal of Sleeping Beauty, which was amazing. You get to watch
Nice.
them basically practice in the room.
Cool.
You can
That's
like watch
awesome.
them, yeah, practice numbers, and like you even hear like the instructor guy, like the main choreographer, like tweak their positions and things like as they go. It was really, really interesting. But yeah, so that's how I met those people. And yeah, and I'm gonna be talking with there's I think they're called the Wedding Venue Map of Orlando. It's like
Okay.
an actual company. But I'm gonna be chatting with them. They remember me from pre-COVID.
Okay.
I showed up at one of their events, was like, oh, you're back. It's like, I'm coming back out.
You never went away. I've always been here.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And so I've got a Zoom call with one of them, I think this week or next week. I forgot which. It's in whenever my phone tells me I've got something.
Yes, precisely.
When I have
Give
it.
yourself at least 2 hours heads up, I hope. Yes.
Yes, yeah. So, well, I usually look, ahead the day before. So we'll see. But yeah, so that's all the things, yeah, I've got in the works and have to stay on top of.
Yeah, and that can be a lot. So, I've explained to Amy that, you know, there's a possible transition in my life, and if I
I
do
didn't know if
end
you
up,
wanted to talk about it.
I know if I'm not going to jinx anything, and I don't know, because there you know, different irons that are about to be put into the fire to see where things go. Not for me, but for my family. And if that's if we were to end up transitioning down to Central Florida, you and I would have to have a conversation about things, how I can help and
Like
where
joining
the line.
forces. Yeah.
Joining forces, so just to reiterate, when my sister was looking for a bridal venue, and when she picked up your card when you were at a bridal convention, and she
Yeah.
picked the card up off your table, and mailed it to me with a sticky that said, you should think about this, or you could do this, or something like
Yeah.
that. And I emailed Amy a couple days later and said, I am not your competition. Would you be willing to impart your wisdom and your experience on how you got this business started? And I stand by that. I refuse to be Amy's competition. I'm not in her league to begin with. But anyway, we'll see where this takes us. I have no idea. Not to mention just getting moved, getting daughters settled in. I think if I even were to try to transfer Cup
Right.
and Crown to that area, it would be a long time before I could even get settled. But I might be able to be an extra pair of hands somewhere here and there if I
Yeah,
need it.
we need the tea ladies. Like that's the tea lady duo.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was gonna say, so I have to say, if you move, and so you know I'm in BNI, right? I know like all the people that do all the different things. So let me know
Right.
if you need anybody, including a mover. And they move like they can move between states, they move internationally, like they can do anything. So
I appreciate that. We have one more move coming to us from the Navy.
oh, you do? Okay, nice.
Yeah,
I wondered
we do.
about that.
We
Okay.
do. And depending on who my husband decides to work for, you know, sometimes companies offer to pay or have.
Oh, right. Yes, yes.
So
Okay.
we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are lots of things that we're going to need help with, and I've got you and my sisters are down there, and but I don't want to, you know, here's.
I know, yeah. I'll knock on wood.
um,
Yeah.
I
But
don't know what's going to happen. I really don't. So we'll
um,
see. We'll
yeah,
see.
and then you've got a phone call today, right?
I have a
For
phone call today to speak to
schools.
somebody about special needs schools or education down there.
So
Yeah,
you'll have to
just
let me know how that goes,
I
hopefully.
will. I
Yeah.
will. I don't know what the museum is going to do without me. She's offered to buy my program, if she wants to call it, and if we would buy that from you. So I'm going to have to speak with, I might speak with you a little bit further on that.
Okay. Yeah.
But I'm talking like, you know, something has already happened and we're moving, and I don't know any of
That's
that yet.
you can
I'm just
you can
trying to be
speak it.
prepared.
Yeah, you can manifest it, right?
Yeah,
Speak it
I'm,
into
I'm
existence.
being open-minded. I'll miss my snow days. I'll miss
I
them.
know. Yeah.
My jeans and sweaters, and the mountains are only 90 minutes away, and the cabins
Right.
to go and rent. And
Right.
but none of that's happened yet.
Yeah, but we have beach days. Oh,
I,
pools?
I used to be.
Yeah. I was like, how about a pool? Yeah.
Pool, definitely,
Okay.
definitely,
We can
yes.
have a pool day.
Yeah, pool day, pool day. That sounds like a preschool thing.
Right.
Water day, we get water day. Oh my gosh. I was like, you know, the weeks that span between you and I having tea, and I'm like, oh, and I'm going to talk about this and then I'm going to talk about it. And then I sit here in front of you and go, I don't remember what we're going to talk about.
You would think that by now we would learn to like keep notes in our phone or
And
something.
I used to.
Every once in a while, right? I'm like prepared for something, like,
Right?
like I think I had it with like a tea time with Trevor, and like just listened to a bunch of royal podcasts, and I was like jotting down little things that I wanted to bring up. It was just like me taking over the front of tea time, and it was like, I gotta tell you all this stuff. I was like, and then we can go from there.
That's right. Let me get mine out of the way, and then you can talk. Oh,
A phone call from the Netherlands right now. That seems suspect.
yeah, I've gotten them from
I'm
China.
not answering it. I'll tell you that.
I would not answer that. If it's really good, they'll leave a message. So
Exactly, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
and then reverse the charges if you have to
funny.
call them back. I don't know.
Right?
Oh my goodness. So,
Okay.
well, that's
Yes.
it. But yeah, so the conversation, but Amy and I, like, I'm like texting Amy like every day. I
That's
come
true.
across
Yeah,
an
I'm like, I
article.
probably should just look and see like what articles have you sent me?
Well, I sent the one about
Oh,
tea
tea
bags,
bags.
the tea bags, and you and I also mentioned that you and I could talk about tea trinkets and things that are out there
Yeah.
at some point or other. Maybe that's after I move and we actually do tea time together
Yeah.
in person, and we can
Hey,
things.
that'd be so
Yeah,
fun.
that would be fun.
Yes.
Yes,
Um,
and hats. We'll buy. See, we buy everything from Amazon, then we just return it when we're finished.
I'm not listening, Amazon.
Not listening, not listening. I'm just kidding. I've never done that. Anyway, no, but yeah, so tea bags, really need to start looking at what bags we're using in our tea and what tea bags are some of these companies like your Twinings, your Lipton, your Tetley, things like that, because some of them are
They have
carcinogenic.
yeah, they have the forever chemical in the exposure. That's what I pulled up the article to see what they
There you
called it.
go. It was a PF something, PFE,
PFAS levels. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, it's a I'm not gonna I don't know how to say the word
That's fine.
polyfluoroalkyl.
That's good, right there, yeah. That's why they gave it an acronym, yes.
Yeah, I know. It's like just so that people know. Yeah. So there's that. They also found it with processed meats. So the study is about tea bags and processed meats.
I mean, if nothing turns you off more to a tea bag than saying processed meats, then, you know, there being a comparison, I think that would be it right there. So yeah,
I know. Oh, we talked about Prince Harry's 26-hour visit.
we did.
Sent me the funny gift when we were talking about green tea, and it's a
Oh.
girl just shoving grass.
Can you should put that up to let me see if I can find that.
It's so funny. Yeah, here I was like, let's see if anyone, yeah, can see. Oh wait, I got the so she's just stuffing grass into her mouth.
Yes, exactly.
That's how Nancy and I feel about plain green tea. And then let's see. Yes, there you go.
That's me drinking tea, green tea. Me drinking green tea right there. It's about the same thing.
Oh, but you also gave me an article about how drinking tea every day delays biological aging and extends lifespan.
Cheers, people.
Cheers.
Seriously,
Just
cheers.
drink it out of a tea bag that doesn't have your forever chemicals, I guess.
Exactly. I was like, okay, I posted an article about wonderful things about drinking tea, and now we have this converse effect. It's gonna reverse your aging, but you're gonna get cancer from it. I don't know. Not great, not great. I'm like, I need to post that article too, and that's been my resolution is I have not been doing enough social media, and just to put those articles and connect people with those articles about tea drinking and different news stories and stuff like that.
And I need to as well. And I realized we talked about, the one of the whole salt in the tea thing.
Oh my gosh, should we talk?
And I was like, oh, I need to put my 2 cents out there or my 2 pence out there. And I realized the other day I was thinking, like, I never did that.
Neither did I, and I should have. Those who don't know, there's some American woman who says that we need to add that the way to get a good cup of tea is to add some salt to it to reduce the bitterness. And it had the Brits in an uproar saying, do not tell us what we need to do to tea to get it. And that's what sugar was. The sugar trade back in the 16, 1700s flourished because people wanted sugar for the tea to reduce the bitterness. Now, it wasn't supposed to be hobgobs of tea. It was just supposed to be just enough to reduce the bitterness of the tea. Salt.
But also, I know, so, but in her defense, right? So I'm just going to say in the article defense, she's a researcher. She was like, and she's a tea drinker. She loves tea going into it. And so she tried, I guess, a bunch of different variations of whatever. And to her, the salt that you put in, you should not be able to taste the salt. Okay. So like you put in just the tiniest bit amount. And she didn't say anywhere that doesn't mean you can't still do sugar to sweeten it. It acts like, to me, I read it as if it's like 2 different things that you're doing.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like just the tiniest bit of salt for whatever bitterness, and then sweeten it how you like it to be sweetened. Like maybe then you don't have to use as much sweetener, right? Like, I don't know.
I'm
not doing it. I'm not doing it.
I was going to say, I'm not going to test it.
Yeah. I'm not going to do it. But because so like my nutritionist, whatever, has me drinking like lemon water, but also with like a tiny bit of pink Himalayan salt. And he said like don't have like you shouldn't be so much that you feel like you're drinking like ocean
Salt water. Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Like you should be able to taste it. So yeah, so that's why I was like, okay, well if you can't taste it in the tea, I mean, I'll
Yeah.
let yeah, but I love like the article they talked to her and like she was not expecting it to be such an like she didn't expect anyone to pay attention to her research. It was like an international incident.
Oh my
Like
God.
that she was like not trying. She's just like, I don't know, like whatever, just doing this random research for whatever it is that she's in, whatever
Gosh.
industry field she's in.
Well, speaking of educating people and the
Yeah,
math,
you gotta get
I'm
someone to
thankful. Okay.
education.
No, no, no,
Oh, okay.
so I was in for a music class 2 weeks ago. I was substituting for a music class,
Yeah.
and we're lining up to leave the class, and I'm hearing one of the kids, and I think it was when Charles had been diagnosed or something like that. And I hear one of the kids saying, yeah, Prince Charles, what did he say? I said, well, it's King Charles now. He says, what did he say? He said, oh yeah, because his wife died. And I said, I said, his mother, Queen Elizabeth, died.
Right.
He was the Prince of Wales. He is now the King of England. And he's like, well, I thought he was married to her. And I'm like, no. And he said, but didn't they do that? They like married everybody. And I'm like, okay, all right. So
Yeah, like we're not marrying parents or siblings. Are we marrying first cousins? Absolutely.
I'm like, no, it was Queen Elizabeth who was married to Prince Philip. They had children. Their firstborn was Charles. He was Prince Charles. Now that the Queen has passed away, he has become the king. His new bride, Camilla, is the Queen also. She's not official Queen, or she's official Queen, she's Queen Consort. I said, and he looked at me, he goes, are you sure? And I'm like, seriously? I'm
Made
like,
all that up.
go back to class. Go back to class. Just get out of here.
What grade was that, by the way?
That was, what is that kid? That kid's like fifth grade, I think. Fourth or fifth grade.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. You just schooled him on the
Wow. I'm like, okay, everybody have a seat. We're gonna talk about this.
so funny. Oh my
Man.
gosh. So a similar note. So Piper the other day was like, tell me a story, make up a story. I was like, oh gosh, I'm
Oh,
horrible.
I think you told me this. Didn't you tell me this?
No, because it
Okay.
just happened a couple days ago.
Oh,
So maybe
okay.
there was something else similar. But this one, she was like, come up with the story. So I'm like thinking, I'm like, okay, let me try and come up with something about the royal family, right? That like I know is true, and I can just play it off as a
Oh,
story.
okay. Yes, yes, yes.
And
Once
so I'm like talking to her about how there was like a king and a queen, and they had like 3 sons and a daughter. So that means they had 3 princes and a princess. And then she's like, 3 princes? Like, and I was like, yeah, because they're all brothers. And she was like very confused that there could be more than one prince. Like, there should only be one. And then like, well, who's the princess gonna marry? I was like, she can marry like someone else who's like in nobility. She goes, what's that? I was like, it's like royal. It's like still like a title. I was like, I don't know, she can marry like just for she can marry like a prince in France or something, right?
Right.
And she's like, no, I wanted to marry the middle prince. And I was like,
And this is how we end monarchy, because we don't see a defective
and
line.
it's like, well, that's her brother. She's like, I know. I was like, okay. And then she's like, but he's gonna like her, but she's not gonna like him back. I was like, okay. But what's hilarious is like, because I'm going with the current royal family, so I'm like, well, that'd be Prince Andrew. I'm like, this seems appropriate.
Yeah.
He's the one doing something wrong.
Odd, lewd, yes, a little blue, something. Yes, I know.
Yes. And so, but so then I was like, why don't you tell me the story? Because she was correcting me every step of the way and telling me how she wanted to do. She's
That's
like,
what it sounds like, yes.
yeah. And she's like, no. And she's like, well, he's like, goes to her and says like, he's in love with her or whatever. But she's like, go away. I don't like you. I don't want to see you again. But by the end of it though, she does really like him. And so like, I was just like,
Girl likes boy, boy likes girl, girl gets boy but doesn't want boy until the end, happily ever after.
Right. And it's like, oh, and P.S. it's Prince Andrew and Princess Anne.
I feel sorry for Princess Anne. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, so it's like, no, like we can marry cousins, but we can't marry siblings.
Yeah, even more
Even
so.
even the royals.
This is how we end royal lines, and it just becomes detrimental to the whole human race. Mutant things.
Oh,
Next thing you know, we have things like funny things growing off the front of our heads, and
that's how that happens.
it's gonna tie it full circle. Come back to Beatrice's weird hat. Oh my goodness.
Fun.
Well, I'm gonna have to run. Yeah.
That's okay.
I need somebody to school, and tomorrow's Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day to
Happy
you.
Valentine's Day. Yes.
And
will your Valentine be back in town?
no, and we swore we were not getting each other anything, which is grand because I didn't want anything. I mean, he once bought me, and God bless him. He's so good about, he tries to spoil me, and one of those boxes of chocolate. It was like this.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And I appreciated the effort and the sentiment, but I'm like, please don't ever do that again. He said, why? And I said, because it's a lot of chocolate. He says, you don't have to eat it all at once. I was like, have we met? Do you know me? And he goes, you don't. He says, just put it in the pantry where you don't see it. And I'm like, and you're not home. And I'm walking around and I hear, there's chocolate in the pantry all day long.
Right. Yeah.
It's the same principle. We don't buy Pringles and we don't buy Cheetos and we don't bring them into this house because I don't know how not to sit there.
Yeah, I was like, Cheetos, I will. Yeah. That's hilarious. Well, he could send you flowers, right?
He better not. He'd better not, because we agreed.
I'm gonna say if he's watching, you better do it.
Do not do it. Don't. No, because
I know. I understand. Yeah.
But I'm like, please let it be one less thing I have to take care of before you leave to go away for a week. And
right.
And he was going to run out and get something for little one here, and I'm like, I will take care of that. It'll be from both of us.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to drop her off at school and go like, it's a lovely day. It's just,
now it's, you wouldn't have known that there was a snow delay.
We would not know. We wouldn't know. And by the way, we are still trying to get to London for spring break. Tickets are excruciating.
Oh no, are they?
Excruciating.
No.
I mean, like, I'm having a hard time finding it under $2,000 a person.
Oh, geez.
It's ridiculous. Just ridiculous. So, I know we're saving on hotel, but
yeah. What if you, oh, right, because you have the friends you're gonna stay. I was gonna say, what if you scooch it out further so that like the flights are less expensive?
Well, and we could try. Jose has a couple of commitments. We're trying to squeeze this in between, and not that I really care that much, but the school would frown upon it. I mean, Jackie's got like 11 days for spring break. She's got the Monday and Tuesday Easter. So it'd be like, yeah, but I need 3 days on this end still to, but if it saves us, a couple $1,000, and it might, we may try to do that. And I'd just be like, hey, sorry.
Whatever. Yeah. Piper's gonna miss an extra day of school.
No, it's just that she missed like a solid week when we went to Ireland at the beginning of the year. So, yeah, but what are they going to do if you'd go like this? And I'd be like, yeah, I'm out of here. You just lost your sub. No,
right.
Yeah, they're just going to give me the whole, school is not compulsory, or compulsory means you have to. Yes, school is compulsory. Did I get that right? No, I can't remember.
Compulsory means you have to do it, right?
Oh, one of them is mandatory. School is mandatory.
Yeah.
Let's use that word. So I get where they're coming from, and the more you miss, the less you get educated and all that good stuff.
Right.
But there's something to be said for life experiences too, and
right. Yeah, I mean, it's like, yeah, but still, I don't know.
I'm taking her to London, so when she comes back, she has things to write about in language arts.
There you go. Yeah, I was like, it's not like you're taking someone out of high school. Maybe high school matters. I don't even know.
Yeah.
If that matters when it comes to traveling.
Right. And is it ugly to say that with a child with special needs, we're not looking for a normal degree for her. We're looking for life skills.
Right. So it's a different,
different ball game. It's just a really different ball game. So anyway, well, listen, I will let you go. I hope you have a wonderful Valentine's Day.
You too.
I will see you in the texting, because I know we're going back and forth, and good luck with all your endeavors. It sounds like wonderful, promising, and fun things on the horizon.
Thank you. And I'll reach out to you if I need help with brainstorming or planning. Okay.
I'll be there. I'll send you my bill.
Beautiful.
Kidding. kidding.
I'll work it into the price.
All right, hon, will you take care?
All right, thank you so much. Hey, cheers.
You.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.